Beginner fishing mistakes that are costing you fish. You're losing fish before your lure ever hits the water, and it's not your rod or your budget. These 8 beginner mistakes quietly cost you fish every trip, and every one of them has a free fix. Fishing at the wrong time. Fish feed most actively in low light, dawn and dusk, when they move shallow to hunt, which is why the first and last hours of the day outfish the middle. By midday in summer, sun and heat push fish deep and slow the bite. The lake that was alive at 6 a.m. often goes quiet by 10. Weather matters too. Fishery writers at In-Fisherman have long reported the bite improving as a front approaches and slowing under the stable high pressure behind it. Plan trips around sunrise and sunset. Watch for overcast days that stretch the low light bite, and check the forecast the night before. Timing beats any lure change you can make. Hook sized for the wrong fish. Beginners pick hooks for the fish they dream about, not the bait they're using. And a hook too big for the fish in front of you looks wrong and won't fit its mouth. Fish follow, mouth the bait, and turn away. The proportions look wrong, so you lose the bite before a hook set ever happens. Match the hook to the bait and the target. Roughly size 8 to 10 for panfish, size 6 for small trout, and size 2 to 4 for bait fishing base, per Take Me Fishing's hook guidance. If you're not sure, air smaller. A small hook can still land a big fish, but a big hook never fits a small mouth. Fishing with dull hooks. A dull point bounces off a fish's jaw instead of penetrating, and hooks dull constantly on rocks, snags, sand, and rust. Use the fingernail test. A sharp point digs in when dragged lightly across your nail. A dull one slides off, and if it slides off your nail, it slides out of a fish's mouth. A small hook file fixes it in seconds, and replacement hooks are among the cheapest tackle you can buy. Check the point after every snag and every fish. New hooks out of the pack start sharp, but they don't stay that way. Treat sharpness as something you maintain, not something you bought. Line too heavy for clear water. Line that's too heavy is easier for fish to see in clear water, casts noticeably shorter, sinks your presentation faster, and deadens the action of light lures. In clear lakes and streams, wary fish notice thick line before they notice your lure, and curiosity turns into avoidance. Match line to the target. 4 to 6 pound test for panfish and trout in clear water, 8 to 12 for typical bass, and save the heavy stuff for pike and thick cover. Skipping the leader entirely. Tying the lure straight to a visible main line in clear water costs you bites a leader would have saved. And around toothy fish like pike, bare monofilament gets cut on the first strike. The fish swims off and your lure goes with it. A short fluorocarbon leader is much harder for fish to see underwater than mono of the same strength. For pike, a wire leader trades a little stealth for being bite-proof. Tying one on takes about 30 seconds, and it costs pennies. Tying weak knots. Most break-offs happen at the knot, not in the middle of the line, and a simple overhand granny knot dramatically weakens the connection. You only need 2 knots, the improved clinch for tying on lures, and the Palomar, both widely recommended by Take Me Fishing for holding close to the line's full rated strength. The improved clinch is 5 wraps through the eye and back through the loop. The Palomar is a doubled line, an overhand knot, and the lure pass through. Each takes a minute to learn. Wet every knot before cinching it down. Friction heat damages monofilament, and retie after every snag and every good fish, because that knot is now compromised. Retrieving on autopilot. Cranking the reel at the same steady speed all day is the most common retrieve mistake, and it only catches the most aggressive fish in the lake. Reel bait fish dart, stall, and accelerate, and predators very often strike on the pause or the speed change, when the prey looks vulnerable. Mix it up, crank, pause 2 seconds, twitch, slow roll, and change the pattern every few casts until the fish tell you what they want today. Spooking the fish first. Fish sense pressure waves and vibration through the lateral line along their body, so heavy footsteps on the bank and a drop tackle box announce you before you ever cast. Standing tall against the sky and throwing your shadow across the water does the same. Spooked fish slide into deep water and stop feeding. Walk softly, stay low, and cast past your target so the lure swims into the strike zone instead of landing on the fish's head. Quick recap. Fish the right hours. Match your hook and line to the fish. Keep points sharp. Add a leader when it's needed. Tie wet knots. Vary your retrieve, and approach quietly. None of that costs real money. It's all habits. Pick the mistake that sounds most like you and fix it on your next trip. And if you're just getting into fishing, subscribe. This channel covers what beginners should know before they start and before they buy.